there, Leo. Welcome to your June 2024 General Tarot update. It's Rena here. Let's see what the cards are going to say for your month of June. I do have an astrology reading for June already up for you. Can't pick an additional card. All right. So, just recapping astrologically, because I'm primarily an astrologer, so I'm always tempted with the tarot to bring in astrology. So in June, I'll just say like the last couple of months, there have been some really great things happening as far as Taurus energy, which is for you something that you should always sit up and take notice, because this is your midheaven, or the cusp of your 10th house of career. So transits in your 10th house can really speak to career matters. And there was an important one that it was an alignment of Jupiter and Uranus. And actually, I think there was more than one. I think there was one in May too, around the 17th of May or 18th. And those two planets, when they align, the significance is that something wonderful can come out of the blue. And the reason that something wonderful coming out of the blue is important is because you associate that with serendipity or good luck or what have you, which Jupiter represents. And Uranus is that kind of unpredictable type of influence. And it's kind of like a pleasant surprise. I mean, yeah, you can look at it the opposite way, but because Jupiter is engaged there, I tend to see it as something like a positive outcome. So don't know if any of you have reaped the benefits of that, but we can say that now Jupiter is in your 11th house, which is the house of gains, which means financial gains that come from, the business that you own or the career that you're part of. And the wands relate to fire energy like Leo or Aries or Sagittarius, but the two represents duality or a choice that has to be made. So because you have had Jupiter, and some of you may continue to have Jupiter in your 10th, you may have some if somebody's watching this for the ascendant in Leo, you may have a little bit of Gemini in that 10th house as well. So at the beginning of the Jupiter and Gemini transit, it still would be in your 10th house. But in any case, whether it's in the 10th or the 11th house, you have had it there in the 10th house. And that might have given you multiple opportunities in terms of career. But, ever heard the phrase, too much of a good thing? So two of wands could be, which career do I choose? All these doors have opened for me, but now I don't know what to do. And sometimes this might even be that you're thinking of relocating somewhere. So you may be a little bit, especially let me talk about your past position, because this may explain the ambivalence, especially if this is something about moving, relocation. Queen of Pentacles, you might have been getting very comfortable in your home environment, Leo, and that may have made you more attached to living at home. Maybe you were even working from home, and you've got this great offer, but you have to move for it. And you may be like, right when I finally have started to enjoy being at home, now you're telling me I have to do that. Or maybe you're a stay-at-home parent. The queen can represent the mother, but we don't have to look at gender. We can just look at nurturing energies and being in that vibe. And then you have like this great choice to make. It's like, what do I do? The higher message is the Eight of Swords, which is really this feeling of oppression. Swords relate to thoughts. So sometimes it can be that your own mind is your worst enemy, that it's, you know, the phrase that came into my mind is what if? What if this happens? What if that happens? And it might not even be a legitimate concern because it's like kind of this wild thinking about a situation that doesn't really relate to the reality of it. And yet here you are feeling that way. Um, if that has, if you have very strong, like negative thoughts about something, Leo, I feel that you may have like legitimate concerns. There might be a very good reason why you should feel concerned about something. Um, so honor those concerns. Don't just kind of shrug them off and act like, oh, it's no big deal. Maybe it is a huge deal that you really need to take seriously if you want to, um, be in a position that is where you feel good about what you're doing. Because the Two of Wands, this may be a big thing. Maybe you're leaving a certain type of profession that you have really built your I was going to say reputation on. The 10th house is your reputation. And Uranus in the 10th house can be, changing careers very suddenly. And I certainly feel that if you are having that kind of um, you know, desire, or there's another word, urge to change careers, don't dismiss them because it makes you feel nervous about making a big change. Actually, when I think about Aries, because the Emperor, the last card I picked is connected to Aries. There was an Aries eclipse, solar eclipse, just a month ago. And it fell in your ninth house, which has to do with long distance travel. And so being aware of the fact that at this time in your life, there may be, the Two of Wands, maybe that something is pulling at you to make a decision. Who knows? If you're single, maybe this is where you find your soulmate. Maybe this is where you find your uh, dream job that you make a solid career from for the next 40 years. You never know what's going to happen if you do take that chance, if you follow a hunch, if you follow your feelings. But the Eight of Swords, that could be that part of you that likes guarantees, as I think fixed signs in general are like that, like, is this going to pan out? When I have clients, private, when I do private readings, some people are like asking me, okay, can I ask you a bunch of questions? And, I discourage people from doing that, because I don't, answer yes, no questions. And some people, they want to know as if they're just kind of a, um, spectator of their own life. And so, yeah, I mean, it's so important to question your thoughts, question your perceptions, and all of that good stuff. Those, that to me, the Eight of Swords can be old tapes, maybe things that were told to you about life that are not necessarily true whatsoever. What crosses you is the Knight of Swords. This is a card of, this is a very out of control type of energy. So, oh yeah, I mean, I always like to bring in kind of relationship issues. There, the issue that I see with Wands versus Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles is this idea of freedom and passion over security. The Pentacles relate to earth grounded energy, but you're a fire sign. So maybe you're in a relationship that is very predictable. It might be to a very lovely person, but you don't feel that sense of like growth. That's another thing with wands, is it's about expansion, because that's what fire energy really specializes in, is expansion. And you may feel like you're with somebody who, it's always possible that that person helped you to ground, helped you to become more stable, so that you were able to take those wonderful leadership abilities, those wonderful qualities that you possess, inspirational qualities, Leo, and put them to work, creative abilities. But now you feel like the two of you are not growing. And so too, it can be relationship issues. What crosses you is the Knight of Swords. Now this is, oh, did I already, I can't remember if I think I already lifted this up. Oh, wow. Sorry about that if I did. I guess I'm a little spaced. But anyway, the Knight of Swords can indicate that there's somebody, maybe this is an individual who is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, which is more compatible with you as a fire sign than somebody who's an earth sign. Maybe this person has shown you what is possible, but they're not necessarily for you, because they may be too unstable. So you can have the two extremes, somebody who's very stable, but it's almost like boring, and then somebody who's totally unstable. But the person, if this is somebody you're attracted to, or somebody who you are like kind of envious of because you feel like they have this freedom that you don't have, could be a good friend. You may be underestimating how chaotic their life is. You might be kind of glamorizing it when really they're not, they're kind of out of control themselves, and they don't have that kind of, they may be presenting this picture of like, oh yeah, my life is so exciting, but you might be looking for a relationship, and they, or if this is somebody that you're attracted to, they're not ready to settle down. That's always a possibility too. Make sure that you're not that person, that you're not like if you are coming out of a marriage, and I feel like in August, those Leo people who are nodding right now silently about what I'm saying, but it hasn't like gotten to that point yet, that August, when there's a full moon in your 7th house, that could definitely be a time when this all kind of blows wide open. So this, in late summer, eventually it may hit all the relevant Leo people. Let's see. But yeah, what I was trying to say is that if that's you, you might be feeling like you're chomping at the bit, but it's like almost like going from one extreme to the other, craving that stability and then just feeling like out of control. What's coming in? Page of Pentacles. This can be some kind of communication. Pages can be messages about money or work prospects. Maybe this is when, in June is when you hear back about all of this that is coming about. Um, I would even be surprised if it is, well, I mean, it could be that full moon in Capricorn, I suppose, but uh, because that's an earth energy, which is connected to Pentacles, but I also believe that that might be more inheritance issues or something that involves another person and money that you have connected with that person. But the new moon in Gemini, which is happening on the 6th of May, I'm sorry, of June, that could be more of when this is coming in. Page of Pentacles can even be a small lump sum of money that comes to you. Maybe you use it for some kind of, the Page of Pentacles can be the student, so you might be taking some kind of training or course to be able to gain credentials for something. The outcome is the Five of Wands. Usually I see this as kind of like a toxic workplace, competitive workplace, but in this context, I see it more about getting back in the fray, which I don't think is something bad for Leos. I think this can be very relevant if you have been taking off time from a career, or maybe you've been in especially if you've been like taking off time, maybe to like maternity leave or raising a child or children. It's like getting back into the fray, but it's something that you excel in because you have like an ambitious nature. So it's not something that is a negative to you. It might actually be very exciting. And I picked an additional card, and I got the Emperor, which is about, getting order and control back in your life. So it's almost like taking the reins of the horse again. And maybe you start the month with this feeling of confusion or ambivalence about what you want to do. But once you make that decision, I think that everything can fall into place for you, Leo. All right, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm primarily an astrologer. I'm promoting my deep dive double readings, which involve an hour of natal chart analysis and an hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months for a special price. And I actually have that one plus a full-length tarot reading called The Whole Enchilada. So that's another package deal that I offer. You can find out more information about all of my readings at the link below. Thanks for watching. Bye.